Hello, welcome to part two of me living in a van. So right now I'm parked for the night. It's about 6:30. Got my parking spot a little bit early. I'm still kind of new to this, so I wanted to find it while I could still, have good time to move around if I was in a bad spot. Anyways, I'm parked for the night, and let me show you guys what I've done to the van to make it so that despite the fact that I have windows everywhere, you can't see inside, no light escapes, and if you weren't really looking for me, you might not be able to figure out that I actually live in this thing. All right, let me show you. So starting off at the front of the van, what we have is this kind of two-layered thing that I've hung up. So you can see there's some hooks in the ceiling. These are blackout curtains that I bought on Amazon and then stitched a quilt onto. So the idea is that the blackout curtain will block all the light from getting through, from the cab. And the curtain is a way, or sorry, not the curtain, the quilt is a way to stop cold air and kind of serve as an insulation barrier between the rear, which I heat, and the front, which I don't. In addition to that, I also have these panels set up on all the windows. So you can see they kind of look like wood on the inside, and then on the outside, they're this kind of silver reflective stuff. So that helps to keep my van insulated. It'll be really useful in the summer. During the day, so that way it'll reflect light out and away. As you can see, they are all the way back on all the windows, and what that's kind of there to do is just to ensure that this thing is entirely dark and you can't see anything, outside of it, and no light gets in. Hopefully, that's the idea. We'll see how well it goes. I'll be back when I'm probably done cooking dinner. Thanks, bye. Okay, so it might be a little bit loud, but I've just started up cooking. I've got some rice going on my Coleman stove. The vent is on so I don't suffocate. I've got myself, some rice, some chips, some frozen vegetables. I'll throw some beans in there, throw it all in the pot, and call that a meal. All right, so I finished cooking. I was gonna put beans in my meal, but I didn't because I cooked too much rice accidentally. There it is. Pretty simple cooking, just rice, chips, and some frozen vegetables that I picked up at the supermarket today. So that's dinner. I've still got a bunch of crap to clean up, all my stove and whatnot. It's kind of dark in the kitchen because I turned off the light. But yeah, I'm probably just gonna eat and then maybe go to bed. I don't know. Anyways, catch you when I'm done. All right, so I've just finished my dinner. I'm now in the van doing something I won't normally do. I got to do a little bit more wiring. I'll show you kind of the gist of what's going on. But basically, my counter has been cleared off. Wash dishes in the sink. Hanging up the towel right here so that it can hopefully dry overnight, and it's warm enough that it won't freeze, which is good, so it'll just kind of dry out. In terms of electrical, there's one thing I've got left to do, which is to give myself a way to charge my phone without having to turn on the inverter. So this thing has a little USB plug. Unfortunately, you have to turn on the whole device in order for that to work. That's kind of a problem because it has a little bit of a power draw, and I'd rather avoid that because electricity is rather precious when it kind of just comes from the sun. So what I've got is one of these car plug 12-volt USB things. So what happens is I need to, typically you'd plug this into the cigarette lighter port of a car. Unfortunately, I don't have one of those connected to my house battery, which is, as I've said before, in that bench. So what I'm gonna have to do is wire this thing directly from the contacts, which it has. You can see these little bits of metal on the side and this one on the end. I'm gonna have to wire those contacts in directly to some of this wire that I just bought at Home Depot. So they'll connect to there and then connect to the fuse box, and I'll show you guys when I'm done. So here is what I've done. I've taken the cigarette lighter USB thing, taped on a bunch of wires. So this red is the positive, the black is the negative. They've been taped on. Next up, I have to put these little wire connectors on the end of it and then attach that to my fuse box. So I'll get that done, and then I will show you the final result, and we'll see if it works. So it's a little bit hard to see, but this, you can kind of see the cables going down, is the cigarette lighter port, which is been wired in my fuse box just manually with some tape, kind of ugly. It's now currently running up to my phone to charge it, and the phone is charging, so that means that it works. I successfully found a way to charge my phone without having to turn on my inverter, so that's pretty cool. That's probably about all I'm gonna do for tonight. after this, I'm just gonna kind of clean up all the stuff that I've had out. Tomorrow I'm gonna have to go to the Home Depot and find a drill bit that's the right size for me to, you know, cut a little hole in the side of this thing so I can have that sticking out properly and look all nice and flush. But for now, I think I'll just kind of leave it like this for tonight, shut the cabinet with that over it, and yeah, there we go. That's about it. All right, so as I've shown you guys earlier, this is my control panel. Here I've got most of my light switches and some extra ones. And then right here, I've got my temperature sensor / controller. So what that does is that basically is the control unit for the heater, which has its output vent down there and its input over there. That way it draws air in and pushes air out into the cab, or not the cab, into the, I guess, the rear area where I live. So right now, the thermostat's telling me that it's 50 degrees inside, but the heater is set to kick on when it turns to 46. So basically, I've set it so that it can't drop below 46. It's a bit cold, but I have a warm bed with a lot of blankets, so I've done this a couple times before. 46 is just fine and dandy. It uses less gas, uses less electricity. That's a much better deal for me. Well, thank you guys for watching this part of my van vlog. Hopefully there'll be maybe a couple shots of me skiing tomorrow. That'd be kind of fun. Anyways, I'm signing off. It's 9 p.m. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Have a good night.